Wisconsin Badgers pull off just a much-needed victory here, 62-54 over Ohio State. More of like a Big Ten classic, both teams, it was like Coach Guard said at the end of the game, a race to 60 points. But we got to break this one down because there was a lot that went into this one, starting with the first half. Wisconsin, good start. They ended up going up 10-4. A.J. Storr, Stephen Crow were the primary factors early on. Even when Ohio State bounced back after a bit of a cold stretch for UW at 18-18, Wisconsin pulled away, ended up going into the half up 34-21. You go on a 16-3 run at the end of the half. That was crucial because that 13-point lead was ultimately the difference when you look at the second half and how that ultimately went down. A.J. Storr, Stephen Crow, they had 10 and 12 points respectively in the first half, accounted for 22 of the team's 34 points, and those points were crucial because, again, like I said, this was a Big Ten battle. Points were hard to find. It was a defensive showdown, and both defenses ultimately showed out, and Wisconsin was the one that had the better defense. You look at the way that Wisconsin played defense, there were two key stretches in the game. One, over the final 7 minutes of the first half, Wisconsin allowed just 3 points. Only one field goal out of Ohio State's last 10 ultimately hit. You look in the second half, from the 8:34 mark to the 1:36 mark, Wisconsin did not allow a single point. Ohio State was stuck at 47 from there, and that ultimately sealed their fate as Wisconsin, they were able to pull it off, and they were able to, shut down Ohio State, a team that averages 75 points, to just 54. This was the second time this season Wisconsin has shut out Ohio State. Ohio State only scored 60 points in their first showdown, even lower at 54 in this one. So you got to give credit to their defense. And it was all around the board. Chucky Hepburn consistently hounded Bruce Thornton. If you look at it, he held him to 8 of 19 shooting. Thornton did get a little going, in the second half, had a good stretch where he was 4 of 6 to start the second half, scored 10 second half points, but then really Hepburn started to hold him, and Thornton ended up only scoring 18 points on 19 total shots. Max Klesmit, he shut out Jamison Battle. Battle only had 3 points in the game, 1 of 6 shooting. And then Roddy Gale also didn't have as effective of a night as you'd expect from the guard. So overall, it was a good day for the Badgers defensively. And the guy that I got to really point out, as I did earlier in the video, is A.J. Storr. Storr was not only impactful offensively, but also defensively. On the offensive end, Storr shot 4 of 9, but it's misleading because a couple of those shots came off of offensive rebounds of his own where he put back and scored. And then looking at the offensive rebounds, Storr had 6. 12 rebounds total in the game, was very active on the glass, and was very active in just defensively overall. Looked even to get in passing lanes at times, generating a turnover. We'll look to see if he can keep up that energy going forward. But Wisconsin, their next matchup comes up against Iowa. They are going to play the Hawkeyes on the road this Saturday, hoping to generate some buzz heading into March. Stay tuned, though, for the coverage. We got you covered, and we'll have a lot of content coming out up until that game.